I don't want to call him a gadget player, but he is more of a gadgety role, right, than your traditional Malik McClain. And with Mike Norvell having, so many unbalanced sets, having 3 receiver sets, having 4 receivers on one side of the field, doing all these different things, Mycah, although you might view him as a slot sort of guy in this Mike Norvell offense, he's not a slot guy, in my opinion, even though he will get snaps there. That's just not the role they want for him. He's going to be that secondary receiver in the sense that he's not an X wide receiver, right? But he plays that Y or Z role, however you want to define that in this Mike Norvell offense, that secondary receiver role. And I do want to bring up one of the highlights that we saw from Mycah Pittman in this spring game. Right here. This is an awesome play by Mycah. And when I talk about him being a gadget player, Perry, this is exactly the type of play I'm talking about. You're going to see him come across the screen, take a carry directly from Jordan Travis, and bully his way into the end zone. And look, obviously, spring game atmosphere, I'm not saying it's the end-all be-all, but, to see how Mike Norvell wants to implement him in that offense, he wants to use him creatively. He wants to get him moving in motion. He wants to do all these different things with him. I'm really excited about that. And I think for an offense that struggles so much with beating your one-on-one matchups, really challenging defensive backs, having a guy like Mycah Pittman as your number one, look, it's not ideal, in my opinion. I think ideally he's your number 2 receiver. But given where they were last year, having Mycah Pittman is going to absolutely raise the floor of this wide receiver room. I guess for you, touch on Mycah a little bit, but also a guy like Malik McClain coming into, this next year for him, trying to establish himself as a true wide receiver one type of guy. How do you think these two guys are going to be, playing off each other? How do you think this room is going to play out?
So Mycah isn't like the flashiest guy. Like, you're not going to watch him catch a ball and he's going to Tyreek Hill it. Like, he's not going to Debo it. But he's almost like Rashad Green in the way where, like, he is your consistent guy. He is going to be there. He and Jordan Travis have already built up a great, like, chemistry. Like, off field, on field, like, they have a great rapport going. And we saw that a little bit in the spring game. We didn't really see too much impressive passing there. But throughout the spring practice season, we saw a great, like, connection between the two. And Pittman's energy, like his his approach to the game, he gets it obviously from his brother, his dad, Michael Pittman. And that was good job, Tommy, because I was literally going to say he is such a little tiny boy full of mass, like Doug muscle hamster. And I don't remember who called in the post-spring press conference. They called him like a big ball of mass that just wants to.
I think it was Mike Norvell actually
I think it was
that. That was after the spring game, yeah.
And when you have a receiver that welcomes contact, that's a different breed. Running backs, okay, you guys like that's a thing, but receivers who are like, I'm going to run you over, especially at that stature. And listen, I'm 5'4". I have no position calling anybody tiny. But for him to be that small and be like, I'm going to take it to you is good. For him to be a gadget player at that stature is nice. Like,